gentlemen, it's about to go down.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your hosts, RGX, RateWrestle, and Frozzy, representing Honor Club, and you're watching HCW.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the HCW Show. My name is RGX, joined as always by Frozzy and RateWrestle. How are you guys?
All good in the hood. Long day at work, 9 till 8, straight on to do this. Loving life.
Priorities, mate. Priorities.
Yeah.
How about yourself, Ray?
I'm absolutely knackered. I worked from 8 till 3:30, so not as long as good old Froz. But then I had to go around to my dad's partner's house to start signing stuff for the mortgage and printing off crap. It was a terrible time.
Nice.
I don't want to move now.
I'm going to start looking to buy soon. So.
Warsaw's a nice place. Come down. On a clubhouse.
I would hold off with the Bank of England base rate looking like it's probably going to go up again.
Yeah.
I would maybe give it a little bit, right, sadly, too far along the process now, but...
Yeah, well, I'm buying a cheap house, so it's not as bad.
Fair enough. So, a huge, busy show to go for us today. Starting off with the final RateWrestle Awards of 2022, which will be the Male Superstar of the Year, followed by the news this week, and finishing off with the Hell in a Cell review. So without further ado, let's go on with the RateWrestle Awards.
Yep, and it's nearly finally over, people. For a whole year, you won't need to hear me chat forever. So yeah, we're going with the Male Wrestler of the Year. They're all on the RateWrestle.co.uk website now as well, so plug in. So I know my own stuff. So yeah, we'll start off. So at number 50, Yoshinari Ogawa, who's from Noah, is like a veteran from there. Followed by number 49, Sammy Guevara. So this is his highest ranking, I believe. So the highest he had, so the best year he's had for me. At number 48, Butch. So he was 15th the first year, if I remember. Then he was 6th last year, it says there. So yeah, he's gone down the pan. But I think that's mainly because of the squash match he's had on SmackDown and stuff like that as well.
There's a good chance on current trajectory he won't be on the list next year.
Yeah. Or it could be champ, who knows? We'll find out next year. Followed at 47 is Yuki Ueno. Number 46 is a GCW wrestler called Ninja Mac, who's been appearing in a few, I think, Noah shows he's appeared on as well. Hajime Ohara from Noah's at number 45. Then number 44 is I think he's still Impact champ, isn't he? Josh Alexander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we see he's still Impact champ.
Yeah.
Number 43, Adam Cole. So there's a dropping stone right there.
Yeah.
Highest ranking. So the first ever year was first, then he went to 9th, so that was a slow, and then he's now 43rd. Number 42, Kyle O'Reilly. So once again, that's a bit of a decline, but he had some weak matches. Like, he's still having some good matches in AEW. There is some weak efforts at the moment.
Is that the multi-man's playing a factor into that as well?
Yeah, so like when you're getting like average 2.5 matches, it is what it is for him. 41, which surprised the people, Andrade El Idolo has made it onto the list.
Yep.
I couldn't even name a match that I enjoyed by him. That's the weird thing. Like,
You rated them, man.
I rated them really highly, clearly, but I can't even remember matches that he's had. Darby Allin versus him in a coffin match, casket match, was pretty decent. That's the one I can think of. Atticus Kogar from GCW at number 40. How from Noah, so Noah's getting quite a lot in this list. 39. Dax the Axe at 38. Followed by Pac at 37. I thought he would have been higher, but he must have had a few. The next person, Tomohiro Ishii, he must have had a few tag matches which weren't a big fan of. He's coming out at number 36. Number 35, you've got Effie from GCW. Number 34, so another low ranking, Tetsuya Naito He hasn't had the greatest of years for me. He's been in a lot of like tag feuds, so I'd rather not in the main event scene that much. Kazushi Sakuraba comes in at number 33. Then Cash Wheeler, who is about 5 places above his partner at number 32. Then we got Mao at number 31. Then Brian Danielson comes in at number 30. Number 29 is Manobu Soya. Number 28, so a high-ranking Kevin Owens has got up there. He has had a great year, match-wise and just general-wise. Number 27, Roman Reigns. So he's had some very good matches, but like there's also been the matches where early on in SmackDown where he's fighting people and just like battering them. So that's what's brought him down. Number 26, Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks. So that's more of just the Young Bucks being there because of their tag matches. So he's going to get a high rating separately as well. Al Desperado at number 25. Tadusuke at number 24. Hiroshi Tanahashi, who's not now fighting Punk, at number 23. Phoenix at number 22. And then coming in at 21 is Kazuda Higuchi. So yeah, coming in at number 20, so we've got Hangman Adam Page, who's had some decent contests, but this was a few of the matches that we rated probably before his title run. So where he was like clinging onto the Dark Order and stuff like that, and he's pretty not the greatest.
I was going to say there was a lot of multi-man tags for the Dark Order as well, and
yeah. And then he's followed by Matt Jackson, who's cracked the top 20. And once again, that's just more of Young Bucks matches and like the trios matches and stuff that's got him up there. Number 18, and his highest ranking for me, which I'm happy about, is Zack Sabre Jr. He's had like just a killer year. He's had a few 5-star matches, a lot of 4-star matches, but obviously with New Japan they get put in a lot of tag matches as well. And when it's Suzuki going, they're very average tag matches because it's like kind of attack and then wear down kind of matches. Number 17, Kaito Kiyomiya, who is like a Noah, like young prodigy kind of guy that's coming through. Tetsuya Endo at number 16. Then Naomichi Marufuji, who's been around for years, that's coming at number 15. Number 14, Seth Rollins. So he's had some very good matches all year round, I'll be honest. Like, even on Raw, he has 3-star matches. Like, it's a struggle on Raw for people who even get above 2.5 half the time. But he's the one that kind of cracks them. Number 13, we had Kenny Omega. So he's just disappeared off the face of the planet at the moment, but this was more of when he had his title run, his matches in Impact, etc. like that. Number 12 is Harashima. He is like the ultimate kind of like veteran style of it, that's followed up by Takashi Sugiura, who was the guy we keep mentioning. I mentioned to you the one that was involved in the Atani incident where he's paralysed. Yeah, he's an extremely good wrestler. Number 10, so we've got New Japan's Hiromu Takahashi, the Super Junior, who's just won the not the New Japan Cup, Best of the Super Juniors. He's just won that.
We win it all the time.
He's won the last 3 years, yeah.
Yep, and they've had 3 winners in the last 8 years.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, Hirumu's right up there. Then at number 9, and I'm very happy with this, is Chris Brooks from the UK. He's been wrestling DDT a lot, but he's been having some bangers of matches. He wrestles in Gato Pro as well, but he's had his best year so far, Chris Brooks. Number 8 is Kazuchika Okada, who actually last year came in at 81st, which is insane to think of Okada at number 81.
What happened? Why was he 81st last year?
But yeah, he got the title. He didn't really saw the title. He was at the title picture, and I think he was literally just in. And he was fighting people like Evil, like them like terrible, dodgy matches they were having. Then at number 7, you got Keno, Masato Tanaka, and then number 5, he's just been having great matches. You had the water matches, He fought Cara Noir at Progress as well. Very good. Number 4 is Kanutsuke Takeshita. Is that how we're pronouncing it now? Is that how we figured it out?
Yeah, I think so.
Konosuke Takashita.
We'll go with that. But yeah, he's only just come to AEW, but everyone's realising how good he is already. Like, his ability's insane. Number 3, Shingo Takagi. Once again, he's just had another killer year for New Japan, so he's been in the top 4 for the last 3 years for me. At number 2, we got Will Ospreay. So he finished last year 3rd, he finished the first year 2nd, and he's finished 2nd again this year. Eventually, he'll get the top place. And then rounding off at number 1, who's had an insane year, is Katsuhiko Nakajima. He was the Noah champion, but he's like a legit wrestler. He's one of these people that kicks people's heads off. His finish is a brain buster. He's just pure. He had a cage match. He had a hair versus hair match this year. Every match is bleeding. It's insane. But yeah, so that rounds off the list for the this year's awards.
You just made the list.
Yeah, and to be fair, before I mention, because I do an Iron Man award, which this is only 3 people, don't worry, it's not me going to go into a full-on another month for this now. It basically, the Iron Man award is who I've seen the most each year. And it's between, so I have an Iron Man award, which is the male one, so the most I've seen this year is John Moxley. He's been everywhere, New Japan, GCW, AEW obviously. Iron Woman award was Rhea Ripley, so I've seen a lot of her this year. And then to round that off as well, Iron Tag Team / Stable award, Bullet Club. I saw too much Bullet Club this year, too much. But yeah, now it's done. Now you won't need to speak ever again.
Until May next year.
And the review in a minute.
I'm meaning about the awards. Of course we want to hear from you.
We all want to hear from me. That's what I'm paid for.
Moneymaker.
Well, thanks very much for your reviews. So from next week, we have a new segment that will be replacing the reviews. It'll be got a similar length, just tacked on to the Tuesday show. That is a surprise though. I will be releasing a hype video for that probably Friday, like dropping it ahead of the weekend. So look forward to that.
It's a surprise to me as well. I don't even remember what it is or if you mentioned it.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
I'll be watching the hype video with bated breath.
So on to the news then. Play the actual theme and post Pete. Insert mask variant.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So it's been rough as far as the whole injuries thing is going. There's been a horrible streak of top level talent all kind of dropping like flies at the same time. From the AEW side, you have CM Punk, who's broken his foot and requires surgery. They did try to avoid it, but his surgeon says there is no other choice. He needs to get it operated on. Speculation being it was from one of the springboard spots during the 6-man tag with FTR and Dynamite. He'd been kind of hobbling about after that. Obviously, when you guys covered it last week, I don't know if you covered how many times he attempted to springboard and kind of messed it up during that Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I mentioned it. I can't remember how many times. I know I definitely mentioned it once.
Yeah, so the belief is it was in one of those spots is where he broke his foot. But the long story short is he's had to relinquish the AEW Championship. We won't go into too much detail regarding that here because Rampage will be covered on Thursday's podcast. But he is out for approximately a month. So we'll talk about the knock-on effect of that when we do the podcast on Thursday.
Yeah.
He's not the only AEW injury at the moment, though. Although it's not been confirmed by the company, it's believed that Brian Danielson is out injured at the moment as well, with a unspecified leg injury. He was pulled from events over the weekend, like signings and stuff, and he's been pulled from matches for Dynamite and Rampage this week. Though I believe he is scheduled to be at the tapings, if not wrestling. So we might hear an update from him himself. But yeah, and obviously we'll cover more of it when we do the Hell in a Cell review shortly. But Cody Rhodes has a really nasty injury at the moment. One that we all thought was maybe even a work the way it was being planted earlier in the day ahead of the show. So it adds a bit more peril to the match. Didn't realise I was going to be watching it, trying to avoid being sick.
Yeah.
But we'll cover that shortly. But the long story with his injury is it is a full tear in his pectoral muscle. Hence why he decided to compete, because it's already completely torn off the bone. He quote unquote can't make it any worse. So it was still hurt like an absolute horror show.
Yeah.
So yeah, previous with that kind of injury, Elias was out for like 5 months with it. A couple others have been out like 5 to 6 months.
Cena had like a miracle recovery, didn't he? Years ago from the...
Elias is still out, I don't know what you're on about.
Cena somehow made it back in 4 months, but the guy's a genetic freak.
Yeah.
I can't see Cody making it back that quick, but he certainly won't be back for Money in the Bank.
Royal Rumble.
Probably.
Oh, God.
I would wager winning the Rumble.
Yeah, I'm probably going to bet on that now.
Top rock.
We'll talk more about that when we do the Hell in a Cell review shortly. I'll give my thoughts on that. So, obviously, I hope that we're kind of past the point of any more injuries coming. Like all the kind of big live events are kind of done as well, with pay-per-view cycle, Double or Nothing, and Hell in a Cell, where big injuries tend to happen, and those big gimmick matches are by with. So, touch wood, that streak is over across the two companies. But in a touch of corporate news, there has been more information that's come out regarding the departure of Stephanie McMahon from WWE. I won't go too much into the kind of corporate, public company, traded company details, but the publication Business Insider recently published an article including an interview with an unnamed source who's an executive with WWE, who stated that whilst yes, Stephanie was looking to take some time off to spend with family after Triple H's cardiac episode, they believe that it was a case of her also not being very good at the job. With them being publicly traded, they had very strict revenue targets as far as branding and advertising is concerned. And the belief is that she didn't hit those targets. Enough that's off the back of WWE announcing their highest revenue ever this last quarter. So how much of that is down to poor marketing performance? Who knows? What I will say,
money, but not enough.
it's crazy to think that the Pizza Hut commercials they did with the Street Profits, the zombie match for Dave Bautista's movie last year, the various KFC Colonel matches between Dolph and The Miz, and Shawn Michaels even hasn't brought in the huge revenue from branding and advertising.
He did the stuff with the Rock film as well, didn't he, with Vince and his egg?
Yeah.
Oh, my egg. Look at my egg. That's all I remember from Vince McMahon.
Hey, we got Austin Theory's push out of it.
Yeah.
Because he stole my egg.
Eat Vince.
So, yeah, it's a funny one. And it's someone who kind of works in the corporate space and keeps an eye on what's happening with large publicly traded enterprises. Getting someone in the door as a replacement, especially at such a high executive, is what we call like C-suite level, as part of the command structure, is very, very difficult and requires months of like preparation and advertising privately and reaching out to candidates privately. So the fact they've got her replacement and the director of branding and marketing followed Stephanie out the door tells me this was in the works for a while. Vince had also made the comments in the Pat McAfee show prior to WrestleMania that you put family in positions sometimes and they don't work out as you'd hoped. Everyone believed that was in reference to Shane. But looking back and looking at the context, there's a very good possibility that he was actually talking about Stephanie there, especially given the timing, in order to have a contingency and backup in place for the event of leaving. What do you guys think on that?
I mean, it all makes, from how you've explained it, it does all point towards the fact that she was just not very good, or well, what they perceive not to be very good. I mean, the company's making a shed load of cash, so it seems wild.
Yeah, it's easy to be on the outside looking in and saying rich people just want to get richer, but essentially that was the entirety of her job.
Yeah.
And apparently they just didn't do it as well as they'd hoped.
Well, in any job, if you don't hit your targets, you're not going to last, are you? So she was given targets, she didn't hit them. We don't know what they are, so.
But enough of the corporate speak. We've got a very important premium live event that we now need to cover off in the form of Hell in a Cell. So take it away, Ray.
HCW Reviews.
Excellent. Hell in a Cell. I'm done with that voice now. I decided to do it again. Oh, my lucky egg. So yeah, this started with Bianca versus Asuka versus Lynch, which was an incredible match straight off the bat. So I'm glad Sasha and Naomi walked out because it got this match.
Yeah.
Naomi versus Bianca wasn't going to be as good as this. So from the get-go, the crowd was proper into it. It was really quick and paced as well. Like, it wasn't like a methodical like triple threat where one person gets thrown out and then they're beating down. It was just going continuously. There was a turnbuckle powerbomb, guillotine leg drop from Becky. There was proper like desperation from everyone, so they were trying to get the pin before the other person got in. It felt like a proper game. You know, when you're in a triple threat and you throw the other person out and try and pin them really quickly. Oscar's rapid strikes and then hit a German on Lynch that looked grim as hell. Yeah. Everything was just really smooth. There was a moonsault double pin as well, which led to a near fall. Oscar got both of them into like dual ankle locks. She tried to do it with both arms at one point, and then she realised that's not a thing, so she had to put them both together. There was a disarmer where Becky got Bianca in the disarmer, but Bianca just stood up with her on her back, which just kind of made the disarmer a bit sad, I'm going to be honest, thinking about it.
She doesn't use it for a finish anymore.
Yeah. Talking of finish, manhandle slam, near fall. Then there was a near fall from Lynch after the Oscar kicks. There was roll-up after this. There was a lot of near falls. Oscar got the Oscar lock-up, which then Bianca reversed it into a roll-up as well, like the typical Samoa Joe, getting your coquina clutch, then the flip over into the pin.
Did you find during that it seemed like Becky was too low, so she couldn't actually get the arm round? She would just kind of hold her head as opposed to be able to get the arm under.
Yeah, like yeah, you could see it. I'll be honest. I don't even know what. Belair dive, but she missed completely, which was odd. Another manhandle slam, but this ended up with Oscar getting manhandle slam on Oscar by Becky, and then Belair grabbed Becky and threw her outside the ring and picked up the win. I rated this 4 and a quarter stars. I really enjoyed the matchup.
Yeah,
like it was excellent. Yeah,
really good match, and I enjoyed the finish of Bianca basically beating Becky at her own game. So that's what Becky was doing, like pretty much every time Asuka or Bianca had a big move, Becky would throw the other one out to try and steal the pin. So
I enjoyed the finish up until I realised that I'd predicted wrong.
Until we realised we misread a question.
Yes.
Aaron didn't. And that was my original. I said my
more than it cost me, but
but yeah, I didn't. I got that completely correct because I read the question.
All right.
I had a good weekend. Let's move on. So there was a weird segment out back which I didn't really care of. It was MVP and Omos. Cedric trying to weasel him, but MVP basically said the Hurt Business is dead, and then Omos did his typical "time for you to go." That was literally just a weird. He does it every week now, and it's stupid. I don't get it.
That's part of Omos, to be honest.
No, his matches are. Following by that, Omos and MVP versus Lashley. There was a rap fucking promo before that as well, wasn't there? I kind of skipped past that, but he rapped like diss tracked him, didn't he? I didn't care.
We didn't share it in the show, but there was a YouTube link put out by WWE. I never watched it. I had the opportunity.
Yeah.
Don't want that opportunity either. It's fine.
So this was probably the best Omos has looked. It still wasn't a great match, but it was a decent. He looked good in it.
Can we go back and look at these reviews every time we review an Omos match? I swear you say this is the best Omos has looked.
Yeah, because he's improving. If you look at Jay Cargill matches, that's what I'd say as well.
No,
So Jay Cargill's winning.
But with Omos, no.
I disagree that he's improving.
He's improving. The man's going to be the future John Gonzalez, a legend. But yeah, I enjoyed it. There was a Lashley through the barricade spot, which led to the usual 10 near fall, which was always great to see. I don't even know. I'm trying to read what Lashley going to knock tag. He was doing the flipping 2K spot that you do in the wrestling, where you knock your tag partner off the rope really quickly and then trying to do the pin before he can get and break the count. So he kept trying to do that. Cedric came out, but Omos smash. Because there's no disqualification as long as you're the person hitting the other person. And then Lashley got the Hurt Lock and MVP. That was the description of the whole match right there. I rated it 2.5. That's the highest Omos match I've got. It's still a good bit. It's average.
Like, it's 2.5, and it's got about 4 lines of review.
Yeah. You're welcome. I was enjoying it. It's just there wasn't much to it, but it was the best I've seen of Omos. He deserves that rating. Average.
Me and Beer Me, you know how he always does that kind of gimmick of asking for a friend? Like me and Beer Me Jesus, friend of the show, were kind of discussing it, and like I was in total agreement that the only reason MVP was added to that match was to take the fall.
Yeah.
And to continue the rivalry. I haven't watched Raw yet, so I'm hoping that isn't the case.
No, the rivalry's done. Once you watch Raw, he's moved on.
As he
Kept
moved on,
watching
though,
it.
seems to be faced. I saw her be faced on Raw, and it seems like it could still be in the mix.
No, the post-match stuff indicates that it's finally over.
Excellent. I'll look forward to it.
Oh, thank God for that.
Omos for champion. Next matchup was KO versus Ezekiel. This was fun. I thought you confused me then. So there's now drop near fall. That really threw me off. I was about to call you a liar and everything. They kept calling him Zeke, which I don't like the name Zeke, I'm going to be honest straight away. But he did it. There was a weird botch that he did in the match.
Just see, whenever they refer to him as Zeke, I just think of big Ezekiel Jackson.
I always...
With his big, like, 6 scoop slams in a row.
Did you ever see the... I can't remember. It was similar to Tough Enough, and it was on the WWE network. And he had a guy in it called Big Zeke, and he used to wrestle alligators.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They did an update on him a while ago in the YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, where are they now? He's still like doing the tours in the Bayou. Anyway, this is hyper tangent stuff. Sorry.
I writ here straight away. This, without realising, Hell in a Cell was pretty much a Raw pay-per-view.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it until like halfway through, and I was like, "There's one SmackDown match, and it's Madcap Moss versus flipping Happy Corbin." That's what they brought to the table here.
They even gave McAfee the day off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not coming out to call one match.
There was a funny spot where I don't even remember what happened, but all I heard was Owens go, "Zeke, no!" Just like he actually called him Zeke. He started hitting Stinger splashes, which led to a spinebuster near fall. Owens hit a pop-up powerbomb, but he turned it into a Liger bomb, which was pretty cool, because you don't normally see that. It's just a straight deadpan pop-up powerbomb. Zeke hit a running knee, which was pretty cool as well. Super kicks and the cannonball from Owens, which then led to him hitting the stunner, like a clean stunner. I rate this 2 3/4. I did really enjoy it, but it shocked me that he won just like that. Though. It just shocked me. It was clean.
It's still the same Elias problem. That yes, he's entertaining outside of being in a match. But even Kevin Owens couldn't get me interested in him when he's actually wrestling.
Yeah, well, we've only seen Ezekiel for a few weeks. I don't know where you're getting this. You can't judge a book by the only few weeks. I don't know why you're bringing out Lois. Lois doesn't exist.
It only takes 3 weeks. It's the 3-week push.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was following that? So then we had the Judgment Day versus AJ, Liv and Finn. This was a lot better than I expected it to be. I thought it was just going to be a bit alright tag team match, but it actually went pretty decent. So you had the jump start from the Judgment Day, which led up to a pop-up Hurricane Rana, which was really surprising as well. Rhea Ripley hit a typical headbutt, but this one looked full on like she killed Liv. There was most of the match was pretty much a Balor beatdown from the Judgment Day. Then the commentary, and I have to mention this because I hate the name, Saints of Fate is a stupid name still. They mentioned it instantly and it just put me off everything. Balor hit a monster chop on Priest, like a full-on water chop, like it echoed around the arena. So this led to a Styles hot tag, the phenomenal forearm, which was pretty cool. Liv then hit obviously I'm not going through the tags and stuff like that, but then Liv and Ripley in the ring, so it was just Liv. She hit a crucifix bomb pin on Rhea Ripley for a near fall. The Riptide, which was reversed. Then they did a sync beatdown in the ring, so they went full Daniel Bryan and John Moxley, the Blackpool Combat Club. Then it just became a diver from, which they had a bit out there. Spear, which ended up in a roll-up for a near fall. Ripley stopped Finn from doing the coup de grace by just standing in the way, which I was hoping there'd be a shotgun drop kick. I'm not going to lie, I was hoping Finn would hit her, because I'm that guy. And then this ended with a distraction which led to Edge hitting the spear. I rated that 3 1/4. Like, it was a very good matchup.
Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff in this match doesn't make sense when you think of what happens the next night in Raw. But yeah, in general, it was a very fun match to watch. Our reasoning being they don't want to beat the cool new stable already.
I weren't looking at that. Flipping Muzzer's just commented in, he's popped up in the top corner of my screen that Germany's just scored.
Of course he did.
Yeah. What an absolute scumbag.
Living off England.
That's what
I would not have said a word if England had scored.
This is why he's not allowed on the podcast. Anyway, moving on. So Cedric and Lashley are cool. Glad I know this now. So this led to the match we're all looking forward to in the rivalry that's going to go on for the rest of eternity. Corbin versus Moss. So they were brawling around the ring. Corbin did the good old no table for you spot where he pulls the table and goes, no table for you. Moss did a random toe hold, which I didn't expect. I just don't care. I went here instantly. I was watching it. I just don't care. Like, it wasn't a bad match. I'm not going to go like. Eventually, it got the rain brushed. I'm not into it at all. Moss was hitting some proper brutal chair shots. Corbin hit like a chop block that took Moss completely off his feet. The fall-away slam onto the stairs was a pretty cool spot as well. Is his finisher the punchline? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
So even though he's not, it's still going punchline.
Yeah, it's basically just a neck breaker, but he swings his leg out a wee bit.
Yeah, and then what I wrote here was just murder. That's what happened at the end of that match. Murder. I wrote it 2 3/4, so it wasn't bad. It was like, but it was just I didn't care either. It was weird. So
rated better than Omos.
Yeah, I had to put it past my limit. Omos, I had as 2 3/4, but knocked it down. I'm not lying. Let me find there you go. Oh, you can't read that. Oh no, you might be able to read that. 2 3/4. You're welcome. That's my notes, people. But yeah, so it was fine. It was just I didn't care at the same time, and I know it's going to continue at some point. He's going to come back, and it's just going to be So this was followed by Ali versus Fury. I completely didn't. I went past that. Ali is from Chicago to halfway through the match. I didn't even pay attention to that was a thing. So Ali took like a massive bump to the outside instantly. That looked grim. It became really sloppy for a bit of the match, but it started to build up. The springboard Spanish fly that Austin Theory does, which is very good. Tornado DDT to the outside. Ali an STF. Then he did a tornado DDT in the ropes, which looked pretty good as well.
Yeah.
He went for the 450 and missed it completely. And then this ended up with the A-Town down. So I rated that 2 3/4 as well. It was fine. It didn't push the limits, but it was fine.
I thought it was good. I hoped he'd do with Theory what I think he can do, because he could be great.
He needs a match with Moss. That's what I'll prove him.
I think that's why they've announced John Cena to come back at the end of.
Yeah.
And yeah, it'll be his 20-year anniversary since his debut. But there might be a bit of a torch passing moment as far as historic US champions is concerned.
If they do it properly, or they'll go the WWE way and John Cena will crap all over him, and then an FU, and then no one will care.
Well, based on their Twitter interactions, there seems to be a lot of you've got all the talent in the world. In 20 years, I want to still be saying that you're good. I don't want to use the word potential with you.
Yeah.
To be fair, in 20 years, if Austin Theory's still been used the word potential, that's the wrong word to be using anyway. He's got great potential. He's been going for 25 years now, but the potential is there. So yeah, we'll go on to the main event, which was my match of the night. I really enjoyed this matchup, I'm not going to lie. So we had Dusty Rollins versus Cody. And it was just very good. Like, part of the match, I honestly thought I didn't know if the injury was real or not, because there was shit, like, he was doing the moves, but some of the moves he was doing made no sense of how he was doing them.
I'll tell you something, like, I was very surprised I didn't see who wore it better between Becky's eye makeup and Cody's arm. Like, see, if you look at Becky's eye makeup from the women's match, it's the exact same coloration as Cody's, like, pec, which again makes me think, at least initially, it wasn't a work, but then I saw it get more and more purple as the match went on, as opposed to, like, less purple, which would be the case if it was painted on. So it seems like a very genuine injury, and I was wincing every time he was doing anything.
I winced as soon as he took his jacket off. I was like,
yeah. Like, the first thing about here, if that isn't made to look worse, this is stupidity.
Like, it really was, and there was an audible, like, gasp.
Yeah.
Like, it got the reaction that Mac always wanted in Always Sunny. He's not going for laughs, he's going for gasps.
Yeah.
The gasps.
Yeah. Fair play to Cody for even doing the match.
It really added to the match, because it added to an element, and I really enjoyed it. And it got me to write the word which I'll never work. Rollins is working on the pec. That's what I'm out to write here. So it was just very good. Like, there's so many good spots with Rollins as well. He pulled out a dusty weight belt. So they were relying on the dusty part of it. Rollins got the table out, but there was a table for the people, so he actually pulled it out and continued with it. Rollins went for the Sprog Splash, and I think Rhodes, he rolled out the Ray and he went through the table and he Rollins. Then Cody's gone outside, pulled out a bull rope, which obviously is the big thing with Dusty with his bull rope matches.
You know what that match needed? More cowbell. And it got more cowbell.
Good grief. So yeah, he offered Rollins the bull rope as well, so it wasn't like he was just going to use it to hit him. They both had the bull rope for a bit. And then he got a full-on bull rope to the dome. Absolutely KO dome.
This sound was so satisfying.
Yeah.
It was a proper dung.
It's the proper, like, full-on Dusty Rhodes hit. It was like... got rammed against the ring post on the pec, which looked grim. Rollins was working with a kendo stick and just pushing it into his pec as well. That happened halfway through the match. I wrote here mucho tables. Forget when Corbin can bring a table out. They were bringing the tables out.
Well, did you hear the thank you Seth chant for the table? Like, Chicago, man.
There was a Crossroads near fall, buckle bomb into the table basically for a near fall as well. The sledgehammer appeared, so they had the good old, like, obviously they were calling back to him hitting the sledgehammer off the throne, and then Triple H with the obviously sledgehammer, the mentoring kind of thing. Rhodes finally hit a pedigree. He's been hinting at it for so long and then turning it into the Tolga driver just before he's going to do it. But this is the first time he actually hit the pedigree, if I remember this. And that got to a near fall. Then there was a curb stomp which got a near fall, which was really surprised by. I thought that would have been the end of the match. Then Rollins hit the cross Rollins, and then that was reversed straight into a Crossroads, because no one hits a Crossroads on Cody with him selling it. It doesn't matter if you hit it, it's not happening. And then he hit the Crossroads 25 more times, it felt like. Then he grabbed that hammer and just full on whacked him in the face. And that's how he picked up the win, after he slowly crawled on the lifeless carcass of Rollins, after he's been absolutely decked. I rated that 4 3/4. I really enjoyed that match.
It was incredible. I don't think they would have had as good a match if there wasn't the genuine peril of that injury. Like, even him lifting and carrying the sledgehammer with that arm had me wincing. Did you think about it? See, even if you've even got a bit of a twinge there, the last thing you want to do is do that motion.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want to do that motion without a torn peg.
He is absolutely 100% in my eyes getting the Triple H Madison Square Garden reaction in January when he comes back.
Yep.
That's cemented in my mind. There is no doubt that he's the top babyface in the company now.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I think there's still a case for Lashley. I think there's still a case.
No.
I'm really disappointed that you did not rate this 5 stars.
I was nearly there.
The injury had done a star.
I think it's the same rating as I had for the WrestleMania match. It was 4 3/4 as well.
I thought this was better.
My only concern with this is it's only going to add more to Vince going, if he can get through that with a torn pec, you can get through that with that strain in your hamstring or your minor injury that could be made worse, and we'll end up back in the days of people working through injuries and getting hooked on pain pills and stuff again.
I tend to believe the narrative that this was all
The good old
Cody.
days. Yeah, no, it was definitely him. It was mainly Cody, but yeah, I'm sure they asked him if he wanted to do it, and he wanted to do it, so he's gone there.
I've no doubt that it's almost entirely Cody that was still pushing to do that, and the fact that I read somewhere, I think it was in the arcade server, that Cody's essentially still wrestling for his dead dad's love, and that's what that match was.
Yeah. And you've rated it 4 3/4.
Yeah. Sue me. It's the highest rated match this year so far, if that helps.
Should be 5.
It's only gonna be beaten when I see a Kenny Omega match in the Tokyo Dome in January. That's when it's gonna go up, boys. I don't know, I'm doing the Batista.
That'll be the Dave Meltzer soon, that will, when he's rated 5 stars.
Oh, I haven't. Wait till we discuss the Double or Nothing review ones on Thursday.
Oh, we're doing them Thursday? I was about to ask.
Yeah, that's what we do. Thursday after the review, we'll do the guess the rating. I think you've looked at the ratings, I'll be fair. I don't know if you have. I know you might have RGX. So you can't guess this week.
There is some mental ones in there.
I am leaving it all to surprise so I can slate him even more and you'll get a live reaction.
I'm just waiting for the time I slate him that much that he mentions us. Then we've made it big time.
I'm waiting on the Meltzer block. In fact, I'll need to check the Twitter, which is @honor_club. That's honor with a U, because we are British.
Well done, mate. You got that out very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about time you did it right.
Let me address your comments last week of me walking out on the show. This is my show.
Whoa!
This is my show.
This kayfabe or
I
non-kayfabe?
trusted it to you guys.
Kayfabe, look at him, he means it.
I trusted it to you guys. You did a good job. You just biffed the end of that.
We did. We did.
You did well, and I'm proud of
Thank
you.
you.
So thank you.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
There's
Thank
your
you.
swerve. I was building up to a rant. It was actually just to thank you. So there you go.
Yeah, now never walk out again. This is a team. You don't want your ego involved next time.
Birthday a year in advance now.
Yeah. My birthday next week. I'm going to be here.
So for our visual viewers, the ones that watch us on YouTube, there will be a surprise for you coming up shortly. I'm not going to give any details about it whatsoever away, not even to my co-hosts. I will surprise them with it when we go live on Thursday's recording.
Shirtless RGX.
We want to keep the videos on terms of service.
This is my side boob.
But on that note, have you guys got anything to add before we say bye to the people?
No, just like and subscribe and send comments. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, if there's anything you change. All feedback is welcome.
Links to everything
Very
are
positive.
in the description.
Wonderful.
So with that out of the way, thanks everyone for watching, and
Oh, no!
So, my
Never
egg.
gonna do it.